Hi, welcome to Ghost Tracks Podcast. My name is Tina. I'm your host. This is new. We're new here. I'm excited. Today, we're going to tell you a local story about an unincorporated village named Story. It's in Indiana. It's located about 13 miles south of Nashville, Indiana. It is such a beautiful place. I was there yesterday preparing for this episode and I was able to look into a bunch of the rooms and the cottages there. It's one of my favorite little country out in the middle of nowhere drives to go. If you're local or semi-local, I highly recommend coming out and taking a visit, walking around. They have Facebook. They've got a website where you're able to go and look at some of the fun events that they're doing. They have a wonderful restaurant with just some of the best food around. So definitely recommend taking a visit out that way. But it's an unincorporated community tucked away in the hills of Brown County with a population of 3. That's it. Not including the animals. There are dogs, there are cats. They do have horses. On occasion, I don't believe the horses live there full time. I think they come with some of the guests, actually. It's a rural area out there. It's near to Brown County State Park, which also has trail rides. They have a horseman's camp out there. Just beautiful, beautiful place. The town is comprised of an inn, which was the original general store, gardens, historic barn, and cottages. Inside the general store is now a restaurant, a tavern, and several rooms in the upstairs that can be booked for guests to stay in. The sleepy little town is surrounded by Brown County State Park and the Hoosier National Forest. I love to visit Story, like I was saying. I walk around during really any season and just meeting the town's occupants, the whole total of 3 that are there. And seeing the animals and wildlife out there. It's actually a huge spot for birders to go to. So if that's your jam, head out to Story. There's tons and tons and tons of birds to see. They also have gardens there, which also bring a lot of just the birds and other wildlife. We got some good pictures of chipmunks there about a year or 2 ago, I think, when I was out there wandering around. So highly recommend this place. While the living occupants are cool, we're here to talk about one of the most famous occupants, the Blue Lady. Long before the lore of the Blue Lady, back in 1851, the town was founded by Dr. George Story, who was a medical doctor. After the loss of his first wife, he met and married his second wife, Jane Morrison Story, and had 2 children with her named Enoch and Georgie Jr. The Story family left Morgan County, Ohio, and moved to Brown County, Indiana in 1851, where he received a land grant for 173 acres and settled in what is now known as Story, Indiana. It wasn't originally named Story. I actually don't believe that it had a name at the time. I believe that it became Story, Indiana in the mid-1900s, if I remember correctly. It was given the name Story after that Dr. Story because they were the original founders of the village. They built the town, which is pretty cool. The Story family remained on their settlement where Dr. Story served as the area's physician, built the town, and raised their 2 sons. Jane passed away in Story in 1872 and was buried close by in the Christiansburg Cemetery. In 1882, the remaining Story family members sold the land and headed west. In the 1920s, the Great Depression forced most of the families from Story and surrounding areas, leaving it to time. And while residents fled to cities to garner work, some residents never left. Jane Morrison Story is thought to be the Blue Lady who remains in the Story Inn. Though there's never been any actual proof that that's who the Blue Lady is, this specter has never been seen as a full-blown apparition. I don't believe that she's ever been seen as a full-body apparition. People have stated that they've seen blue eyes, maybe a face, but bright ice blue eyes is one thing that they have seen in the room and in the surrounding rooms, as well as blue items left behind, which is where she's gotten her name. She is not in a blue dress as far as I have found. No reports that I've seen stated that, and there are no guest reports stating that she's in any kind of dress wandering around. not like the white lady or the ladies in white. I know that that's a very common theme among ghosties, is the lady in white. This is the blue lady for various reasons, but not because she is blue, because that'd be kind of creepy. Not because she is wearing blue, but she's a beloved ghost that has garnered much attention from paranormal enthusiasts seeking a thrill. The Story Inn has even named a room after her that you're able to book and stay in called the Blue Lady. It's modestly decorated in period pieces with a blue lamp on the nightstand in the corner of the room. While it is said to call the Blue Lady's spirit forward, all you have to do is turn on the lamp. Many patrons have found that she likes to visit and check in on her space regardless of the lamp being on. The Blue Lady is not a malevolent spirit. Guests often find her presence one of peace and calming. The Blue Lady is often accompanied by the smell of cherry tobacco or is noticed only by blue items left behind. While the lore does tend to give many people the creeps in my research, many people have a very hard time coming to terms with staying at the Blue Lady or in the Blue Lady room, given the legends surrounding the Blue Lady, even though she is not said to be malevolent. I have not found any negative encounters with the Blue Lady, but people get their creepies on and they get scared. I'm not one of those people. People come from surrounding states just to try and get a glimpse of the Blue Lady. What is unique about this room, other than its long since past resident, is the photo hanging in the room next to the bed. This photo, I would not insult this photo being in the room, for sure, and I'll tell you why here in a minute. This photo is an aged photo, period photo of a woman. We're uncertain who she is. This photo has not ever been named. The woman in the photo has never been named, so we're not positive if this is Jane Morrison's story or if this is just another resident of the town of the time, or maybe a relative of somebody that lived in Story in that era. So could be the Blue Lady, could not be. Either way, this photo holds some power in itself, or the person that inhabits the photo, the woman in the photo, maybe she is attached to this photo. Maybe it was very special to her. I'm not really sure. Regardless, the photo holds some power itself. In the early 2000s, there was some guests in the room, in the Blue Lady room, where this photo does remain. I don't believe they've ever put it in any of the other rooms upstairs. I think there are 3 or 4 additional rooms in the upstairs of the inn, and I believe that this photo stays strictly in the Blue Lady room. But these gentlemen were in that room discussing the photo and had made comment of the woman being very unattractive, which is really rude. Like, we don't say that, guys. Like, get a grip. And just as they were finishing to insult that photo, the photo fell from the wall where it hung. The men got quite scared for the photo falling and quickly took their leave. Other guests have reported things moving or loud bangs happening if the photo is insulted or in any other way messed with. I know some people that have come and stayed have said that they have removed the photo from the wall because it gave them the heebie-jeebies. That tends to pick up activity in that room, and it's not as nice, and it's not accompanied by those same pleasant feelings that people get when they are speaking about or think they have encountered the Blue Lady. So just, guys, don't mess with that photo. Like, be smart about it. They need to have a sign, honestly. Although they do have the newspaper clipping regarding that original report where the men were insulting the photo, because I think that's kind of where it all began. Maybe somebody brought in another ghost and she just really liked that photo and they said, oh, this girl was unattractive. And they're like, wow, you're kind of a dick. And so she's just hanging around protecting that photo. Maybe it has nothing to do with her herself. I'm not sure. So while the photo and the events surrounding it don't give Blue Lady energy, perhaps she has a spicy side where people are concerned when they're being nasty butts. Maybe there's another spirit hanging around, like I said, in the Blue Lady room, keeping an eye on things. I visited the inn yesterday. I was there. I was so excited to go back. Again, this is one of my favorite country drives to take. It really is out in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell phone service out there, which I know kind of freaks people out these days. We're so attached to our phones and technology, but when you're looking to just disconnect and connect with nature, just kind of be out there, be by yourself, it is one of the most pleasant places to go. I feel so happy going out there anytime I do venture out that way, which is often because I actually work. My big kid job is down in Brown County area, so I quite enjoy going down there, but no cell phones. But I was there yesterday and I was able to go into the Blue Lady room. It was open. I got some photos, which I'll be sharing on social media with you guys. This place is it's just beautiful. So I came in, I went in, I talked to the owner or one of the owners. He's the one of the guys that lives on site. His name is Rich. And thank you so much, Rich, again, for having me out and letting me go and visit the rooms and a couple of the cottages outside. Such a joy going out there, and you're just fantastic. So I came in, brought my books to take notes in. I brought my Ghost Tube app and a pen to take notes and, Ghost Tube to try and see if I could get anything coming through while I was in there walking around. It was just a day trip, some sightseeing, doing some research for this particular episode. And again, what a better excuse to get out into the country and take a step back in time. When I went into the room, I did greet the blue lady, and I did greet the woman in the photo. I was very nice because I'm not about to have a ghost haunting me on my car on my way home. I was not looking to piss anybody off. This room in particular overlooks the back garden on the property. Obviously, it's winter time, so there's not much to see out there, but the garden area is really pretty. I would love to go back when it's all bloomed out and has all the herbs and the flowers out there. It's just fantastic. So I commented, about the garden being out in the back and how beautiful the property is, and that I hope that the blue lady was at peace, and that if she is in fact still on the grounds, that I hope that she was enjoying her time in the afterlife in this space, and the guests that came in were considerate of her in her room, in her home. I didn't get any responses. There was no words that came through Ghost Tube while I was in the room, which was kind of disappointing to me. I was really hoping to, chat her up, get a exclusive interview with her for you guys, but I didn't. But I did want to go through those guest books and share some stories with you from people who have stayed there at the Story Inn, and in particular in her room. So the room was made up already for incoming guests. So I made sure to go out of that space, not to mess up anything the cleaners had done. So I went out into the common area upstairs. It's just like a landing, like a loft area in the upstairs there in between all of the rooms. So I took the the guest books that were inside of that room out there to, look through them, find some guest experiences to share, and just kind of read through everything. I sat there for probably about 30 minutes, 45 minutes or so. And as I was flipping through the pages, reading the entries, I did still have my Ghost Tube app on because, again, I'm trying to chat up some ghosts, okay? I was there for an authentic experience. And while I was reading through them, my Ghost Tube said book, and I about shattered myself. Guys, I was so excited for one single word. I haven't been that excited for one single word since my children were itty bitty little babies, learning how to speak. So that was super exciting for me. I acknowledged that I did indeed have a book, and I was looking through them, and that I loved reading the experiences of these guests. Remainder of the time that I was up there in the common area was very quiet. Rich was downstairs doing his thing, talking to incoming guests on the phone, so I could kind of hear him, but there wasn't anything else weird. There's just such a sense of peace being there. I've never had an uncomfortable feeling being in this space, inside or outside. I've always loved going out to stories. It was very quiet. I finished up with the books, got what I needed. I was going to go look at the other rooms, and then, go outside and go see the cottages that were out there. And after I put the books back in the blue lady room, I don't even think I said anything as I was walking out. I had my Ghost Tube app. I had it, tucked into my arm because I was carrying all my stuff. And I went to go lock the door because, again, this building has existed since the 1850s. Okay, so it is an old school lock and key building. We don't have any of the fancy swipey cards now that hotels have, or touch something, you let them in. It is a old building. Just fantastic vibes. Anyway, I go to lock the door, and as I'm closing it, my Ghost Tube app says, goodbye. And I just went, I was so excited. So excited. So I don't know if you guys know what Marco Polo is, but it is an app that you can put on your phones long distance. A lot of my family, I don't have family here where I live anymore. We're kind of spread out all over the country. I moved around a lot, so a lot of my friends are out of state as well. So I use this app to send, videos back and forth with my loved ones, and my friends just as a way, dropping in, saying hi, if we can't be on an actual phone call. So I immediately hop on there, my best friend, and I'm like, my God, the blue lady said goodbye to So I was so excited for that. I was thrilled. So again, didn't get full on conversations, didn't get to interview her or anything like that, but I did get that goodbye. I think that she was kind of watching, feeling me out, seeing what I was doing, what vibe I was bringing to the table. I really wasn't expecting to get anything at all, truthfully, mostly because it was daytime. I didn't have a whole lot of other ghosty equipment. I literally just came for research purposes. The fact that I had GhostTube on my phone was just kind of a bonus for me, and I'm glad that I remembered to even open it. So again, I wasn't investigating per se, but the fact that I had that acknowledgement from hopefully the blue lady. I mean, it could have been somebody else, but either way, I got an acknowledgement from somebody that was there, and I was so excited. I didn't get a glimpse of anything. I didn't see anything visually, but I'll take those 2 words as communication from whomever was there watching me. Only one of the rooms upstairs was booked at the time, so I was able to go in and look through the other rooms. And aside from the words that I got in the Blue Lady room while looking through the books and then leaving, I got to see the original Dr. George Story home. I can't even express how excited I was for that. So yeah, I entered his home. Again, no weird feelings. I was just super comfortable, super at peace. The home is just stunning. I mean, again, it's 1851 build, so quality, being there for as long as it has been. There's going to be some wonky floors, all kinds of stuff. But overall, just a beautiful, beautiful home, and really well kept, honestly, for being there as long as it has and not having, a lot of upkeep. It was abandoned for quite some time. This village hasn't always had residents in it. It hasn't always had people there to ensure that it has been taken care of properly, and loved the way that the current owner loves it. So with those things in mind, it really was beautifully kept. And I was able to look, so all of the rooms all over the property, and all of the cottages, and then inside, all of those places have their own individual guest books. So I was able to look through the guest books there at the Doc Story home as well. And many of the guests reported the same things, just having, a serene feeling. It was very peaceful. Nobody felt off or any negative vibes in the area. But they did state that they did have some experiences in the Doc Story house as well. And the Doc Story home is up on a hill above where the general store, which is now the inn and tavern and, collection of all of the things that the town has. So it's not directly next to one another. So maybe the Blue Lady is wandering the town a little bit. Could be Doc Story, though, as well. Some of those guests did report smelling another type of tobacco, which he was said to prefer. The cherry tobacco was something that his wife, Jane Morrison Story, really liked. So that's one reason that people do believe that the Blue Lady is Jane's Story, while others, we're not really sure. Again, we've never seen, or people have not ever reported seeing visual representation of her, an apparition per se. So, but yeah, so I did not get anything that day. So Doc Story may have been out tending to some ailing spirits in the area. I'm not really sure. Or maybe he just didn't really want to talk to the girl wandering around with her GhostTube app. But I didn't hear anything unusual in the home. Again, no weird feelings, no feelings of ill intent in the home. I was very peaceful there, and I was just in awe of, what was surrounding me. So again, I was very excited to be there, but we're going to get into some of the experiences that people have had that have stayed there. I have not had the opportunity to stay the night there. That is something that is on my list of things to do this year. I have wanted to the last several years, and I just never have. So it's going to happen. 2025 is the year of creepy for me. I am going to do as many paranormal investigations as I can. I'm going to go stay at as many haunted locations as I can. I am going to travel and I'm going to share it with you guys. So be prepared. We're going to get weird. Okay. I'm weird, but we're going to get weird in the creepy paranormal sense. Okay. We're going to see some stuff. Just stick around. I promise. So I'm going to get into the entries some of these guests have said. A lot of these were from the last several years, but some of these entries, and I don't remember which ones I, chose to share, but I was seeing entries as far back as, and it doesn't sound super far back, but 2011, that's quite a few years ago now. It was 14 years ago now. So yeah. Let's get started. Let's get into these guest stories, okay? An entry from 2016 did not, and I'm not going to share full names or anything. I think most of these I just put a guest or a first name because I'm not going to share first, last names or anything like that. We're not getting that weird, okay? We're not being creepy. So an entry from 2016 was left by a guest who came to stay in the Blue Lady room for Wine Fest, and they wrote, "What a night. Woke up at 3:05 again to something playing with my big toe." I didn't know the Blue Lady liked feet, so this one did throw me off a little bit. I'm not a feet girl, so Blue Lady, we don't have that in common. No judgment. We listen and we don't judge. That's what I'm hearing these days. I judge a little bit, but I'm not judging. Anyway. Smelled woman's perfume and the room got cold. They said, "I am not staying in this room again." So apparently they're not feet people either. I think she threw them off a little bit, or whoever was in there tickling some toes, they weren't here for it. A guest named Tisha left an entry May 28th, 2021, saying, "We unfortunately didn't see the Blue Lady, but you can feel the presence around you. It's a very friendly presence, though. Only paranormal thing we had was the sink turning on by itself." Maybe she tickled somebody else's toes and felt like she needed to wash her hands. I'm not sure. But that's kind of creepy. I don't know. I've had a lot of paranormal experiences in my life, and I'll get into sharing those in episodes down the line. But I don't think I've ever had water turn on in a home that was unexplained. Anyway, I don't know what I would do if I just was like, and all of a sudden my sink turned on. One of the newest entries I was able to find was left by Sharon, who stayed in the Blue Lady room. And this one, if I remember correctly, was from December of 2024. So this just happened. Sharon wrote, "Staying overnight due to being a guest speaker at the local Brown County Health Department this morning. This was a bucket list stay. Girl, me too. Again. I will be staying at the Blue Lady room. Got here at 6:30 p.m. after dark, and delightful owner Rich and Blue, who's his puppy, made me feel very welcome. Enjoyed nice dinner at the tavern. I loved the 3 dogs, and the locals also made me feel welcome. Lots of laughs before heading upstairs to explore. 8 to 10 p.m. I love that she listed this out by time frame because that is a very me thing to do. 8 to 10 p.m., loud thumping in walls, downstairs, ? So she's not sure if it's in the walls or if it was downstairs. I'm here alone, but it sounded like people on stairs, but no one else is here. And when she says, and I'm here alone, she means, the owner of the property doesn't stay in these rooms upstairs. He's usually in a cottage outside. So if there's no one staying in the adjacent rooms, then it's empty inside. There is no one coming in and out. It is locked up. Obviously, again, this is not a hotel, so there's not people wandering around at all hours of the night. There were apparently no other guests in the at that time. 10 p.m. went to car for stuff and was met by Travis the cat, who came in with me. Travis made himself comfortable on the bed where he stayed all night, keeping scary ghosts away. I enjoyed snuggling with him in the glow of the blue light. So homegirl Sharon, she's brave. She was calling that Blue Lady in with that blue light on. 5:30 a.m., got up and turned all of the other lights on. While I had my back turned to the light by the chairs, went out. I did not hear the chain being pulled. Stayed on when I pulled the chain, or stayed off when I pulled the chain. Travis slept through it. So Travis the cat was like, "Man, this happens all the time. I'm unbothered." He said, "What's up, Blue Lady? I'm gonna keep sleeping." No noise this morning. No other experiences in Blue Lady. Note, Rich let me explore the other rooms. In the Morris Kelly room, the bathroom light flickered and the rocking chair creeped me out. This next guest came to story with the intention of ghost hunting. This was from November 30th of 2024. So again, didn't happen that long ago. They write, "My boyfriend's birthday is today." Well, happy belated birthday, boyfriend of November 30th, 2024, stay at the Blue Lady room. And we chose to do our first official destination ghost hunt here. We got a lot of responses with our touch flashlights, REM pods, and Spirit Talker apps. Very cool. Couldn't really tell who we were communicating with, but still had a lot of fun. Claire and Rich are amazing, and we will definitely be back. Morris and Kelly room was far darker with spirit box responses and felt heavy. The Blue Lady room felt more peaceful and the responses were friendly aside from getting let me rest several times. I don't blame her. I am a 10 p.m. asleep kind of person. So if somebody is up in the night bothering me as I am trying to get my ghostly Z's in, I'm going to tell you to let me rest too, guys. I can't wait to come back for more investigation. So those are just some of the guest stays that I wanted to share with you guys. Again, I can't say enough about the folks in Story, really. The village is such a gem. The owners are amazing. They're so helpful. They love to share their home with the people that come to visit. Thank you, Rich. Again, I can't say it enough for letting me come out and visit and try to meet the Blue Lady. For letting me go and visit the other rooms. You definitely, these people don't have to be doing that. They don't have to allow people to come in and explore, especially given some people's connotations to be destructive and not respectful of where they're at, the spaces that they're in. So they're very gracious to allow us to, look in those other rooms, the cottages, that are out there by themselves. He didn't follow me around. He let me kind of do my own thing. So I am grateful for that. I cannot wait to go back and stay. Again, 2025 is going to be that year. I am going to go out and I'm going to do all of the weird and creepy things my little heart desires. And I can't wait to do a real paranormal investigation there. I'm super excited. Thank you so much for being here for my first episode. I know that I stammer a little bit. Post-editing will be a little better than this raw edit that I'm doing right now. So thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to be doing this, to be sharing my love of all things weird and spooky with all of you, even if there's a whole 10 people that end up listening. I am super excited to be here. This podcast, it's been in the back of my mind for quite a while now, probably about the last 2 years, and I am just a giant chicken shit. So it's taken me forever to jump on this train and, take a step out of my comfort zone and do this, especially since I'm doing it by myself right now. I have a co-host in mind. We're working towards that. But for now, you're just gonna be with me. So little old me. I'm new here, so you're gonna have to give me some grace while I get started, get this podcast thing, work out all the kinks and it's very trial and error over here. Okay, guys. So I am trying. I'm just a baby, so you gotta be easy on me. All right. Don't be judgy. We listen and we don't judge. Okay. We're gonna listen to this podcast and we're not gonna judge. Make sure to give me a like if you'd like to follow along, see how I grow with this, follow along for new episodes. Again, there will be investigations that I do that I will be sharing. I do intend on starting a Patreon in the future. There's going to be a lot of bonus material and extra episodes that come out with that. I've got some things in the works. I've got lists. Okay. So those are coming down the line. For now, we're going to be podcasting. We're going to get this going. Episodes will get a little longer as I go ahead with all of this and become more familiar with it and comfortable with it. But give me a like, share with your friends, bring all your weirdos over here to me. I want them. I need them. And liking, sharing. We live in an era of social media, okay? So liking and sharing my podcast, other podcasts, even ones that have been around forever, it's a huge help to them. That's how they get out there. It's how we gain new listeners. Like Nike said, just do it. No copyright material here, though, okay? Don't at me, Nike. You can find me at Ghost Tracks Podcast on Apple, Spotify. I'm on Amazon Music and YouTube. Having a little bit of trouble with YouTube right now, so we'll be on there soon. So don't fret, but it's coming. I'm working on it. We also have Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Follow along with me on this crazy podcast journey. I'm so excited to be here. Okay, guys, stay creepy. See you soon. Bye.